All right, Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises to Yahawah, BASHIM, YAHAWASHI, BASHIM, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings of the whole collective of Israel. And the title of this lesson is going to be, Enter ye in at the strait gate. All right, so I'm going to just go ahead and get started. This is Matthew chapter 7, verse 13. Enter ye in at the strait gate. All right, so what is a strait gate? All right, the strait gate is the path that leads to the kingdom of heaven. All right, and it says it's a strait gate, meaning it's a path of difficulty. All right, it's very narrow. All right, it's very specific. You can only go one direction to get to this gate. All right, so you have to enter in. How do you enter in? By the Lord giving you this wisdom, knowledge, understanding, which has been given to us by our teachers. All right, through the spirit power, YAHAWASHI. All right, so enter in. All right, and going into being more specific, entering into the fold. All right, putting your hand to the plow. All right, that's the strait gate. All right. Putting your hand towards the ministry. All right, there's Matthew 7 and 13. Enter ye in at the strait gate. All right, so strait is very specific. That means what? It requires discipline. It's very strict. All right. Continuing, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Okay, so wide is the gate that leads to destruction is all the other paths, all right, of that lead to death. Okay, because there's only one way to life and there's many ways to die. Okay, there's only one specific way to live and there's a million ways to die. Okay, you can be led away by many different things. Okay, you can fill in the blank on the examples. All right, things can take you away from that straight and narrow. Okay, the path that leads to the kingdom of heaven. All right. So it says many there be which go in thereat. Okay, so the mass majority of the people on this planet Earth are in that wide and broad gate. Okay, and it leads to destruction, leads to death. Okay, behind that door is destruction. All right. This is verse 14. Because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. Okay, so because straight is the gate, it's going again. Straight. It's a path of difficulty. That's why in the book of Acts says, through much tribulation shall we enter into the kingdom. All right, the kingdom to come. All right, the kingdom of heaven, which is going to be here upon the planet Earth once this place is destroyed. Okay, so that wide and broad way is going to get destroyed. Okay, and it's going to be put on the exclamation point when these thermonuclear missiles start raining. Okay, and the chariots of YAHAWASHI start doing damage as well. All right, but you have to be on a straight and narrow path if you want to live. Okay, and it's going to get tighter and tighter and tighter. Okay, because that's why I'm going to get 2nd and 7th chapter, because it's going to be what? It's going to be a single file line, 1 minute at a time. All right. So here, and it says few there be that find it. So I'll get Matthew 20 going into many are called, few are chosen. All right, 2nd Edges chapter 7 and verse 6. There is also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field and is full of all good things. So at the end of the straight and narrow is broad. Okay. The broad way, which is the kingdom. Okay, all your heart's desires, the Lord said, at my right hand are pleasures forevermore. Okay, that's the broad. All right, but in order to get to there, we have to what? Get through the narrow. All right, which I'm gonna keep reading. Is verse 7. The entrance thereof is narrow. All right, the entrance. Okay, again, enter ye in at the straight gate. It's very narrow. It's very specific. It's only one way. It's one direction. Okay, the old path that leadeth to righteousness or rest for your souls. Okay, which is I think I'm quoting Jeremiah 3rd chapter, but nonetheless. Continue on reading 2nd Edges chapter 7 in verse 7. The entrance thereof is narrow. Okay, it's very tight. Okay, very strict. All right, requires a lot of discipline. All right, and is set in a dangerous place to fall. All right, the dangerous place to fall is here in the valley of the shadow of death. Okay, it's a dangerous place to fall here. All right, because great is going to be your fall. All right, especially here in these last days. All right, and especially if you know this truth. Okay. Continuing, like as if there was a fire on the right hand and on the left a deep water. Okay, so many troubles. All right, you can only go forward. You can't go backwards. Okay, and you can't go to the left. You can't go to the right. You have to go straight. You have to go through that narrow. All right, because if you fall back, that means you fell out. All right, you have to keep moving forward. All right, no matter what. Okay, because you have no other choice if you want to live. All right, so it's set in a dangerous place to fall. All right. Verse 8, and one only path between them both. All right, and that's the straight, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could be there could but one man go there at once. All right, so small that there could but one man go there at once. It's one at a time. Okay, that's why it goes. The scriptures, seek out their own salvation with fear and trembling. Okay, you cannot get saved on another man's coattail. Okay, you have to work out your own salvation. Okay, and that does not mean going into forsaking the assembly. Okay, it means going into your trial. Okay, you're being tried, you're being refined. Okay, you're trying to make your corny election sure. Okay, so what? You have to make it through. Okay, no one else is going to make it for you. All right, a crown of righteousness is going to be laid up for you if you endure unto the end. Okay, there's no joint crowns. Okay, we're joint heirs, but as far as going into, there's not going to be a double crown. Okay, so and so and so and so, here's your crown. No, you got a crown for yourself. Okay, if you endure unto the end. All right, but it's verse 9. If this city now were given unto a man for inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? So how are you going to get to the kingdom? All right, if you don't go through the heartaches, the setbacks, and the trouble to get to the bride, if you don't go through it, how are you going to get to it? Okay, the answer is you're not. Okay, and if you're Israelite, because they'll also this pertains onto Israel. All right, you so-called Negroes, Latino, the Americans. All right, but if you're not able to get through it on this side, you're gonna ultimately have to die on this side. Okay, if you don't get it, you're not part of the elect. All right, and you're of one of the tribes. Okay, going down from the tribe of Judah to the Issachar. All right, and you don't get it. Okay, the Lord does not save you. You're not gonna make it to the kingdom, except you be born through a righteous man, the Lord. All right, in the kingdom. All right, so you have to pass through the danger that's set before it. Okay, and it's hard. It's not easy. All right, but the greatest rewards come from the toughest journeys. All right, the hardest journeys. Okay, because that's the more rewarding it's going to be. All right, but nonetheless, continuing. All right, because going into try to make it more clear and specific what this this straight gate is. All right, it's pretty much you're entering into the way of understanding. All right, this is Proverbs chapter 9. And I'll start at verse 4. Proverbs 9 verse 4. Who is simple, let him turn in hither. All right. Turn in hither, meaning reverse your ways. Okay. Come this way. All right. Because again, we were all at some point in time not in the way of understanding. All right. That's why we're in the congregation of the dead. Okay. But continue on reading. As for him that wanted understanding, she saith to him. Okay. Because wisdom is likened unto a woman. All right. So she saith to him, come, eat of my bread and drink of my wine, which I have mingled. Okay, going into the wisdom and the knowledge, all right, and understanding. Okay, going into the roll. Okay, the scriptures talk about when the Lord was talking to Ezekiel, eat this roll. All right, he's talking about the word. All right, it says drink of the wine which I have mingled. All right, continuing verse 6. Forsake the foolish and live, and go in the way of understanding. So the way of understanding, that's the narrow and straight path. Okay, the understanding of YAHAWASHI. All right, so forsake the foolish. All right, turn away from your wicked and foolish ways. All right, and turn on to the way of understanding, the way of wisdom, knowledge, understanding. All right, so and how does that happen? By what? You hear. All right, because scriptures say faith cometh by hearing. All right, you heard the word. All right, and what it said, this is the way. All right, this is the way. This is the way to live. All right. And again, the point is it's not easy. All right. But it's doable. All right. Because if it wasn't doable, you wouldn't, you'll be wasting your time. All right. But nonetheless, not to run long. Daniel chapter 12. I'll probably wrap this up. It could be a quick lesson. Daniel 12 and verse 10. Many shall be purified and made white and tried. Right. Many shall be purified and made white. Because that's what this path is consists of. Okay. It consists of purification. We're being purified. All right. By our trials. Okay, as YAHAWASHI was perfected by what? He was made perfect through sufferings. All right. So that's what's happening to us, because you think of purging, you think of a purification process. It's not a cute and cuddly process. It's very violent. It involves a lot of heat, a lot of pressing. Okay. Very quickly, as you've been heated up, you get taken out, you get cooled down. Okay. And then you do that over and over and over again. Okay. That's a rough process. All right. So that's why pretty much making an example of what's happening to the Lord's men. All right. Speaking of our apostles and elders on down. All right. This is Daniel 12 and 10. Many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. They'll understand, the pretty much the gravity, the to the best of their ability of what this thing is involved of, okay, or consists of. All right, because really, what the point is that we're working and laboring for the kingdom to come. All right, because we know for a fact that this place is going to be destroyed. All right, things are speeding up, and that means we have to tighten up. Okay, because we're really close to our reward. All right, but again, he that doeth to the end shall be saved. So here I'm wrap it up. Matthew 20:16. So the last shall be first, and the first last. Right. So it's going to be a transition. Okay, those that are on the bottom will be on the top, and that's the elect of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Who is first is going to be last. Esau, Edom, so-called white men, and other heathen nations. All right, and even going to the rank and order of the kingdom. Not every Israelite is going to be in the same level. All right, so LeBron James, he's going to be last in the kingdom, okay? Because he's first in this kingdom, all right, according to our people. Matthew 20:16, so the last shall be first, and the first last. For many be called, but few chosen. Okay, so we're trying to be the few chosen, all right? And to be, because again, we read earlier, it says few, and few there be that find it, okay? Because the Lord's only dealing with a select few, and that's why we Lord's will we can endure unto the end, all right, and receive our reward, okay? Because that's when you can feel accomplished. You can feel like, yo, I actually deserve this. All right, of course we don't, all right, but you work for it, okay? And that's going to be your remembrance, and go into your story being written in the book of life. You're going to get all that praise and fame, and your sons and daughters are going to be reading about you, all right, forever, all right? But all that glory, again, going to 2nd to 7th chapter, it's not going to come until we get through this path of difficulty, all right? But we already have the victory, so that does not mean to lay up and lay down, but that means, hey, we have a great responsibility and duty to do until we finish our job. Then we can celebrate. So with that, those words be edifying. Those words want to give our praise to YAHAWASHI, double honors to the elders and apostles here at MILLSTONE. Peace and blessings of the whole